But as a thank you for being here, I do want to remind you we will be doing a great giveaway of a Sephora card, $50. The idea behind this really is an information session. At the end, we wouldn't be live sellers if we didn't give you a 1-minute pitch with a very special offer, but everything else is really going to be hopefully offering you some clarity on what your potential is for the live stream shopping space.
Exactly. And I'm again, like I mentioned, I'm so glad that you're here because that means you are interested to be one of the first brands that are going to offer something interesting and new. I mean, live shopping, as we will show you, it's not new, but it is newer to North America. So we want you to ask questions. So make sure you can ask your questions. We will address them. I will monitor the chat. So if you have any questions, we are going to be doing a giveaway, but also this is live selling. So we are going to have an offer at the end of this, a great offer, which we will mention.
Absolutely.
And this is also what we want you to learn from us when you're going to be hosting your live streaming is we always want to have an offer, right? We are going to be educating you. And so when you will be doing your own live streams, and at the end of the day, you have to have an offer.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm just sharing the screen right now. I'm hoping, can someone just let me know if you're seeing my Canva presentation? I know it's a little bit clunky here, me fiddling around here, but if you can give me the thumbs up, you should all be able to see everything fine.
Let's see the chat.
Let me see. We can see
12 new messages.
Yes.
Again.
Oh my gosh, you're all there. Perfect. You can see.
see.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
everyone. Oh my goodness. So great to see you guys.
Okay, so I want to make sure that everyone really, Anna, has sort of a perspective of what actually live shopping is. So here's where we're going to start. We're going to start with, sort of what Gary Vee has been saying. And I know a lot of
I've seen this a lot.
Yes.
I've scrolled social media and I'm always coming up to see this. And I'm so excited because I feel like he's been pioneering this message for a while, but you guys are the real pioneers.
Yeah, so I want to just kind of kick back to this for a second. So the idea is Gary Vaynerchuk, he has been all over social media and he's always been a bit of a sort of an early adopter in technology. He was on social long before everyone was. And he has been, in the last 2 months doing all the media rounds, CNBC and the newspapers, and of course on his own channels, talking about how live and social shopping is really one of those important things that everyone needs to get involved with. Now, I want to share a bit about my background, Anna, because yeah, so that's one of the beauty shows, of course, that we used to host on TSC. My background is in what we call electronic retailing. So that's TV home shopping, which ultimately, you will see a lot of resemblance in live stream shopping to what TV home shopping is. I hosted, breakfast television. So for over 20 years, I've been teaching people and also myself communicating and selling through the screen. And also, of course, in that live stream shopping space. So here you see a little bit of a compilation of work I've done with skincare brands on camera, with jewelry brands. You see me hosting in the bottom middle my own live stream event. And I just want to also point out on the left and on the bottom right, these are live stream shopping events that I have produced for other brands and of course trained the talent, Anna. So, there is a huge opportunity here.
There's proof this works, this method works. And I think that's what Gary Vee is so excited to push this message because it works. And he goes back to referring as the HSN method works, and this is what you teach.
Yeah, so I do the HSH method, which is the home shopping host method, and we'll talk about what I can do for you later. But I think the comparison you made, Anna, is so important because we talk about, and Gary talks about this, is there's a reason why HSN and QVC work, and the idea, and HSN and QVC, and of course TSC, where I work here in Canada, it's because it does tap into that inspiration, that authentic host that also really cultivates trust and makes purchasing a lot easier.
Yes. And I remember we did our training together and you said something that really resonated with me. You said some of the people that watch from home, they may not be confident enough to go to a store. They may feel they want to be part of a community, and that's what you can offer. When I just did my HSN, kind of like when we have a brand going on HSN, and before you go on HSN, they have to bring you down there and you get to do the tour of the facility, which was so exciting. And you also get to get used to the camera. And that's another thing, to camera confidence, you guys. If you're a beauty brand and 2025, you have to you cannot be a faceless beauty brand. Nobody buys into just a product anymore. You have to be on camera. And this is what we are also teaching you, is how to talk about your product live. And I learned that at HSN. They showed us how to have fun. They taught us a little bit of camera confidence, but of course, we were there for 1 hour, so you can only learn so much. And then I was in New York and Amazon Live. I did my little Amazon Live little
Like a
segment.
demo kind of thing?
Yeah. And I was so thrilled because I said, wait a minute, I just did HSN, but now I can do the same thing on Amazon or other platforms. I said, I want to learn more. And then I meet Dawn, who was teaching this method. So that's why we're here today, you guys.
Yeah, and the idea too, I just want to again reiterate what this means for you, right? Because, us meeting and our experience only matters in that we are speaking from a place of knowledge and experience. And so when we talk about that relationship to TV home shopping, and then what you hopefully are interested in, whether it's now or in the future at some point, certainly a lot of people are already doing it, and I'll show you some of that proof as well, is that you also have that engagement. So you have a real-time engagement and a chance to really go beyond traditional e-commerce. So I want to share some of the data because this is,
Please,
because it's one thing.
Don't take our word for it.
I mean, listen, you have no reason not to trust me, but you also have no reason to trust me. So let's go to the data. So yes, of course, we've just sort of reiterated that born from TV home shopping networks, QVC, HSN. In reality, live streaming, of course, originated in China. China has always been at the front end of technology. So Alibaba, they had their first ever Singles Day in 2016. And I can't remember the exact amount, but it was like within 30 minutes as the pre-show, they'd already sold millions of dollars in product. Now, let's be honest, we also know China, of course, massive. So, I mean, would we expect that here? Of course not. But as we look at the rise of social commerce, so live social shopping, live stream shopping, you can call it lots, it changes names all the time, but it's essentially what we're talking about, is projected to increase, I think it's 11.7% year over year. And when we look at the potential by 2030, 3 trillion, we're looking at well over $1 trillion currently. And as far as, the opportunity, 700 billion. I also want to just sort of make it closer to home, Anna. So when we look back at actual money that this has brought in, this essentially sales opportunity that people are doing or brands are leveraging, already saw around 31.7 billion, I should say, but with a B.
For North America.
No, just US. So Canada never really ever gets counted for some reason. So you can imagine we might be slightly less. I know we've got a lot of US brands watching, but we kind of all get, we're all seeing the uptick. So take a look at 2026. 68 billion. And when we talk about that, that's just live stream shopping, which I'll show you what that means and what that looks like for you.
So excited.
Total 5% of total e-commerce sales. And it's so exciting because we're constantly every day talking to brands and we got new ones on board.
And Kiolal is one of those brands. And if you're here, I'm so excited to share this with you guys, is because she's launching. So Kiolal won at Makeup in LA, which I'm the ambassador of. And now it's finally time to launch the brand. So she's actually adapting live streaming to launch her brand into the world and keep doing live. So it's not just a one-time strategy.
Yes.
Is ongoing. So it's kind of, think of it as your launch party.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's more than that. And I'll share other ways that you can do it. Now, I've got the wrong date on here. We were back and forth. It's now going to be on the 20th of February. So
please join us.
I'm hoping we have Jessica on board right now. Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time, prepping everyone for this. I do want you to just know that, if you wanted to go live tomorrow, you can go live tomorrow. We just want to make sure you're prepared with all of the information. And this is part of what we're doing coming up. Fingers crossed next month. I mean, praying for LA, of course, obviously, but
of course. So Makeup in LA is still going on. We are, the show is still going on, and we are actually doing a lot of great things to support the local community. However, we are going to present, even Makeup in LA wants to have a talk about live and what that means. And we're going to present this to hundreds of brands that are going to be at the show in live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we're very, very excited about this. Of course, the ultimate thing is sort of having everyone understand what live selling is and why live stream. So let's break it down for you in a way that just, it's very, here's what it is. Going live. So you and I are live streaming. Right now we are on Zoom, but we are still live, right? You could see because I was messing up in the beginning. That
Yeah,
happens
that
sometimes.
happens.
You mix your
That can
online
happen.
shopping and then you essentially, lead a customer down that pathway to purchase. And what this also does is it's able to become also that marketing opportunity. So here's the data that I think you'll find the most intriguing. So live commerce conversion rates, you're all business people, so you know what conversion, you know what KPIs are. I don't need to give you the definitions.
Yeah.
10 times higher than traditional e-commerce. And of course, many of you are beauty brands. We might have a few that have joined from other categories. We've really catered this information session to beauty brands, but you can see skincare, makeup, hair care, like this is all beauty, is among the top brands. And I just want to also point off, if you look to the right, you can see 55% of businesses use Facebook to live stream. We're going to show you how you can still go live on Facebook, but get those extra conversions. And they are 10 times higher than the average conversion rate. So Anna, what that means is,
Yes,
yes,
what does that mean?
so people go on to your website, right? Your .com,
Yes.
and they'll look at something and they'll say, ooh, I'm not sure, maybe, but I'm still not sure. You are trusting that they're going to go back. And a lot of the reason that they don't necessarily is because they're not sure because they haven't been convinced. Maybe they don't trust they're going to get, the thing they think they're going to get, or that it's going to fit the right way, or it's going to work for them, the color of lipstick, whatever it is. So this is where that live advocacy, Anna, really comes in.
Right. And there's a system to do this. There's definitely a system. Also, I just want to point out, and this is Gary Vee, going back to Gary Vee, he talks about how live content is more preferred by the algorithm. Even our live that we did this morning, it's got over 6,000 views, which I post on Instagram daily. To get that kind of views, you have to wait at least until the end of the day. So that goes to show you that live is being preferred, live content.
Yes, and of course it's making the news. I just pulled up a couple of clips, but do yourself a favor, set a Google alert for live stream shopping. Every day I am getting an alert of some brand.
Smart.
In fact, Zara is just, I didn't have time to change the slides, but Zara is going to be bringing their live shopping. They of course brought it to the
So
US,
smart.
but they're going to bring it back to China. Bambuser, one of the platforms, is bringing it there, and they're working on a whole live shopping strategy with them. So, if you look at this, booms as businesses strike gold on social media, beauty's untapped live streaming potential. That's according to the Global Cosmetic Industry Beauty Innovators Resource. That was an article. And then, of course, merchants urged to stay innovative as retail competition intensifies, which is why I'm so proud of Jessica from Kiolal, because that's the innovation. That's the
Yes.
innovation.
And most of us know about Amazon Live, TikTok, Shop, which we don't get that in Canada,
No.
right?
And they might not have it anymore in the US.
In
We're
the
going to see.
US. Yeah. So that could, yeah. Anyways,
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
there's other platforms as well.
Yeah, there are. And I'll show you a couple of them in a second. I just wanted to show you, you wouldn't be alone. We think this is also emerging and new, and it is relative to what's happening in China. But Nordstrom has an entire, like on their website, they have hundreds and hundreds of shows that they've done and continue to do. That's a mall, and they have created essentially an online visual mall to help shoppers navigate in a very personal, trustworthy way,
Trust.
a way to shop. So Nordstrom's doing this, Macy's was doing it. Tarte saw an incredible triple-digit halo effect in retail. They hosted a 12-hour live stream. I'm not
Wow.
suggesting anyone needs to
Okay.
do that, but just to give
Tarte.
you a perspective, is that they saw, 70% of shoppers that never had shopped with them before. So it's also such a great way to get so many other benefits, Anna.
Yes, and look at this ecosystem, right? Of brand loyalty. We know that connections convert, right? So the more when you're doing live, and they're doing a winner prize too,
giveaway.
a giveaway. When you're going connecting with your audience, and that converts into whatever it is, sales, if you want people to be part of your community, if you want to sell product, even if you are an ambassador, an influencer, you can go live to share your story.
Absolutely. And so that's what I like to say, there's so the halo effect. I mean, a lot of you, again, because you're business owners, you probably have at least a bit of marketing background, because as a business owner, you sort of do all the things. Trust me. I
We wear many
know.
hats. I know.
Or maybe you have a marketing team. And it was funny, I said this on our live this morning, that if you have a marketing team and you are coming out of this session today and they say, I never heard of live stream shopping, I'm sorry, you might want to look somewhere else, because
Yeah.
jobs of marketing teams and your PR should have the finger in the pulse. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but they sure as heck should know what it is. And so what does this mean? Brand loyalty, brand awareness. We saw that with Tarte, seeing 70% of shoppers that had never been with them before. With the Manitoba Mukluk show that I had produced, and I've still got 3 more live streams with them. They've got an Olympian and an actress that are their hosts. So I'm on the strategy side. They saw 600 additional signups on their newsletter, which,
Wow.
as you guys know, it's so hard
That's
to get an
real.
email address.
Yeah.
In addition, you can also repurpose this content into shoppable
So
video.
how do we go live?
Okay, so there's a few different ways. If you wanted to do what Anna and I did on Instagram, you can do that. That's free, costs you nothing. You also won't see, I will say, the same conversions. Might you sell something? Absolutely. There's no reason why you couldn't do a totally just a regular live shopping show, have a moderator, have a series of links that you post for your products. You could start there. You could do that on YouTube. You could do that on Facebook. Now, we really, I like to say, you know, for a lot of you, because you're business owners, you probably want to do something that gives you your best chance at sales. But again, right now, I'm not selling you anything. I'm educating you on what's possible. So on the left, that's your free social media, right? You go ahead. It's free to use. Why not?
Yeah.
When we go to the middle, there are platforms, and by that I mean social media platforms that have the technology integrated where it will drive the sales to your e-commerce. So Poshmark has this. If you have stuff on Poshmark, you can go live. Pinterest, TikTok.
I didn't even know Pinterest.
Yeah, they do. Oh,
Is
there's lots, everything on Pinterest.
Wow.
Amazon Live, of course.
Amazon
we
Live,
learned about
of
that,
course.
and whatnot. So,
but if you're in Canada, you cannot do Amazon Live, only in the US,
correct,
right?
correct. You can watch the Amazon Lives on the website, but you can't
go live
because it drives you. And if you were trying to create a live stream event and you are Canadian, you can't. If you're in the US, yes, you can. And I will show you an example. There's also other ways to maximize your reach. You can sponsor programs and have an influencer present for you on Amazon. So if we ever worked together, or you know, Google it, fine, you know, it's fine too. There are ways that you can go on Amazon. I'm not going to take all the time here because I want you to see that there are also ways that you just own these channels. So if you look to the far right, these are all sort of subscription-based live platforms. And so the easiest way to explain it is it's software or apps essentially that integrate with your Shopify. You have to do the back end of integrating it. It's literally adding the app. And then now you've got what we call a dashboard to be able to create a show.
And the whole point is you want people to shop live. So if you're going live on Instagram, they have to go to your website to shop. You're going live on other platforms, they can shop while they're watching you.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, you know, live shopping. It's you know, TV shopping.
So what it is, it's actually better than TV shopping, because TV shopping, you still have to go to a website. You have to leave the show.
There you
and
go.
then you have to go to a website and then you shop. With live shopping in particular, when we look not on the left, because once you go to a website, you leave the show, but in the middle, and I'm just directing most of you to the right where we talk about stage 10, Talk Shop. Keolau is using Channelize. She's going to be signing up for Channelize. She could have also signed up for any of these other ones. Part of what I do is I work with you to make sure that you're choosing the right thing. I don't work for any of these platforms, so I have to know about them all so that I can steer you in the right direction. And
guide you.
Exactly. And in some cases, you can go use these platforms for free. There are limitations, of course, but you know, I don't want you to think that there isn't an option for all of you. It just
and always think about your own IP too, like which platform is going to help you sell product right? Faster and easier, and collect your IP. Maybe we're collecting email addresses or whatever your strategy is. Let's see if there's any questions in our chat.
I want to answer everything at the end, just because some of the answers, because we do want to get through all of this and we still have time. So yes, I will do it because we may have it coming up and I don't want to dedicate time to that right now. I did just want to say too, to your point, Anna, that with the platforms on the right, you can multi-stream. So here's where you also capture additional people. You can, so for instance, for Kia Lau, you are going to be hosting with Jessica.
Correct.
Now, with the platform that we are using, which is Channelize, it could have been any of them. I'm not partial at all. We will be able to show.
Yes. Can we show an example?
It will come up. Yeah. We will show how they can broadcast with you, as well as on Keolau's site. If I want to simulcast, we can do that as well. So I want to just make sure we go through what the recipe of a great show is.
There is a recipe, you guys. So if you're watching until now and wondering, this sounds all great, I can go live tomorrow. you can, as Dawn was mentioning, but you want to do it so it actually converts, and there is a recipe, there's a system. I went through it and I learned so much, and this is what we can offer you today.
Yeah, so and we'll get to the offer in just a second, but the recipe for a show, because again, if you want to go live right now, here's your recipe. Choose your right host, and that host might be you. And you don't have to have more than one host, it can be just you. When I say train them, certainly I will present you with some training opportunities, but if you are working with an ambassador or an influencer, you want to train them on your product, because we're going beyond saying, I like coffee and this, or I like tea. If we were selling this tea, we would want
Why
the
do you like it?
producer, not just
Exactly.
why, we want the producer to share the product information about the tea. How was it harvested? Was this all the
Exactly.
things that a lot of times influencers may not go into depth that you as founders already know. So, and then do you want to make sure that you create a show that entertains, engages, and educates? Compelling offers, incentives. We're going to offer you something like that is compelling. So this is all part of how you drive the sale. And then of course, to understand, Anna, that it's more than just sales. Sales we all want, but what are your other KPIs? So think about it. Do you want more newsletters? Sign up. What
Exactly.
else do you want?
Yes.
And then you look at the data. And so this is data that we saw when I produced the Manitoba Mukluk show. You can see, and each platform offers different data, but you can see we were able to show where people were
Oh, that's
watching,
amazing.
on what kind of device they were watching, and also how many were watching at any given time and how long they were watching. So here's what you were wanting to look at, Anna. This is what it looks like to live stream shop. This is for SkinCeuticals. So they go live all the time.
And I'm sure most of you know what that is, and how amazing, right? So you can see, she's educating, she's entertaining, and she's also selling. So you can purchase the product right there.
Right. And you're seeing what's happening there. I was just sort of clicking on it in the background there.
That is
But
amazing.
you then, you can still watch the show. And so, I mean, to me, like that's the real advantage. And that's that integration, which is why we see the 30% more or 10 times higher.
Exactly.
So here's Amazon Live.
Oh,
Okay. So this is what Amazon Live looks like. This gal here, I can't remember. Oh, Paige DeSorbo. She's got she has people sponsoring her shows.
yes.
And so she's able to sell anything on Amazon, but even her, we talked about pick a theme, pick a show that's going to entice people. Guess what? She did what's trending in beauty.
Amazing.
And she's selling Amazon products, and maybe your product is on
she's a live
Amazon.
stream. Exactly.
Correct.
And you want to work. So also I want to go back to the data that you get. You can use that for later on to do ads and target. So then you're spending your money in the right way. So going live, you'll see where people are tuning in from. So that is an important data for a beauty brand, because right now sometimes we're kind of blindfolded putting out ads and messaging that we don't know who exactly is watching. But with live, you get to actually see who's watching.
Yeah, and I can't guarantee the platform you choose always has the same data. So this might be important to you.
Yeah.
Stage 10, which is one of the other platforms I use, the data is very comprehensive. Channelize, I have yet to see because we're going to be working with it for the first time with Keolal, that particular platform. I have to see what the data is, but the point is that you are accessing more information, which is data, than you ever had. Take a look on the right here. So this is what's in TV home shopping, Anna. You can actually respond to questions. And I know some of you probably do as well, have questions, but I do have to get through the program. But can you see the benefit here, Anna?
Absolutely. And look how easy it is to shop, right? Like it's so interactive. And then you just click, and that's why we love Amazon. It's such an easy, a shopping experience.
Yeah.
But this is brilliant. I think this is brilliant. It makes it so much easier for a consumer to shop, and to be engaged.
But I'm not trying to sell you on Amazon, because all those platforms I told you about do this exact same thing. So that's why I want you to know that there are options for every technical ability. There are options for every budget. And all you have to do is sort of think of the ways you can leverage your live shopping. And so I always like to say, Anna, that if you think of live shopping, live social shopping, live commerce, however you want to say it, it is a marketing channel that just happens to have sales attached. You can live shop a podcast, Anna. We could not hold any product if we don't want.
Wow.
And we just learn about you, and we could list all your products. And so that would be the live interview. We could do product launches. We do brand launches. That's what we're doing with Jessica. Influencer collaborations. That's how you're also going to be leveraged, right? Because you plan on also having your own sort of shopping marketplace.
Absolutely. So we will, part of the offering today, which we'll mention at the end, but there's many ways we can work together for sure. And if you're also an influencer watching, you can learn how to do this and host your own live shopping, especially for podcasts. I think that is so smart because a lot of times podcasts have those, breaks in between to do a commercial break. Well, this way it's just interactive and people can shop while they're watching.
Yeah, and master classes and tutorials. So, I mean, you all work in the beauty industry. You know how important the demonstration is. And of course, part of what I teach in my course, and certainly with what I'm going to share with you in just literally a couple of moments, which is great. We're above
Yes, and we have to
time
we
here.
still have to do the
Oh,
giveaway.
we're giving away a $50 Sephora gift card.
Of course, because we know you're beauty
I
lovers.
know. Yeah, and it was so funny because I was thinking like, is that the right giveaway? Because these are all people that don't have to pay for their own skincare. Because I used to
You
work
can
at the
never have
shopping
enough
channel. But
skincare.
then I thought, you know what? I used to work with skincare brands when I was at the shopping channel, and I never had to pay for skincare because I always had samples, right? And I thought, why would anybody want to go buy when you have your own brand? And I thought, because you want to research. You want to research and learn about what else is out there. And then you also still have your favorites, which is great.
Yes.
So I just want to offer, we're at the end here. I just want to offer a few final sort of words of advice. When we talk about live shopping, if you walk away with anything today, and we're still going to get your questions, not to worry, and we're going to do the giveaway first, not to worry, plan your show. I can't stress that enough. I mean, I don't have a problem with anyone just going live and winging something. But if your goal is to drive awareness, brand loyalty, ideally a purchase, right? Drive a sale, then plan.
There's a recipe.
We planned this, right? It doesn't mean we're not riffing off each other and, going ahead and
having
and
fun.
backing up. Well, that's the point. We want to play, but we do have a plan, and that's how we've been able to stay to time here.
Yeah.
We want to promote it. Number one question I get, and there's probably a question with that, how do we get people to watch? You have to promote it. And it's the consistency that eventually creates a habit, because we are in these early adoption stages. We're training the consumer, just like we used to have to say, follow us on Instagram, because no one knew what Instagram was.
Right.
And then we're going to play. And that's ultimately
we have to have fun.
What we want to be able to do, right? So yeah.
We did wanted to make an offer for you guys, and this is an amazing offer because we want you to really be one of the first ones to adapt this new strategy and be on top of your competition. Because if you're not going to learn this, the other brand will. And we know the beauty space is very saturated.
Yeah. And so I like to say, listen, the train is already going. It's already left, right? It's already left. You can choose not to get on it. You can get on the next train. It won't be the same train, but the train is moving. So we want to give you an offer that we hope you can't refuse. And I will tell you right ahead of the time, we are very limited, and I'll share how many can access this offer. So
Dawn, and it is, I've sold products for many, many years, but learning how to sell them online and that camera confidence, and learning also how to plan your life is so important. And so it will give you the skills of you feeling comfortable, and not to mention camera confidence, which I know I work with a lot of beauty founders, and this is not your expertise. Dawn has many years in front of the camera. If you're new to building a brand, you may not have camera experience, and learning how to camera confidence is an amazing skill set that's going to benefit in so many different ways.
So it's a 3.5 hour, it could be 3 hours. It could be like, we just do it as long as you need to. It's a conversation. I know this feels very one way right now because this is an information session, but it's an actual intensive workshop. We actually do work in this. We work on your camera confidence, demonstrations that drive sales, the art of story selling. It's not just storytelling. And I know a lot of you probably don't love the hard sell, as we like to call it. And I don't know a lot of people that do. So we learn how to sell within our stories, and perfecting your pitch. You know your brands very, very well, but can you keep it succinct? Can you create a journey for your customer, your fans, your friends, new people that stumble on the live? Can you create a journey for them that eventually drives to a purchase? Now, I want to share with you, when you see what the offer is, the offer is less in price than what I charge for this already. You could go to my website right now and you would see right away that this is a huge value. Yeah.
Because we want you guys to start doing this.
Correct. So my point being is, everything else after this, you're getting, but you don't have to use the other things. So if you've already got a plan in mind of what you think you'd want to do, I don't want you to feel pressure like you have to do everything here. If all you used was this half day with me, you would have got your money's worth. So I'm going to share that with you first. Now let me say, but wait, there's more. because that's what we do in TV home shopping.
But wait, there's more.
So
I
this,
love that.
so this is what I'm doing with Jessica. I just signed on another fashion brand out of Toronto as well. I've worked with Manitoba Mucklucks, arguably one of the largest Indigenous brands in Canada. So I will work for your first event. I will manage your project for you. Again, if you
Amazing.
want. I can also do this
We're
along,
holding your hand through it.
and this is alongside your team, because the whole goal here as well is to create independence for you. You might want to work with Anna again, but you might go, Dawn, thanks so much. I think we got it from here. That's my hope for you. I know it seems weird for me to say, don't hire me again. And if you want to, you can, but that's not my goal for you. I don't want you to feel like you're beholden to me. So I will manage your first project with your team. We will do Zoom meetings with any of the stakeholders. So with your marketing, if it's just you, we're together. I will also, after the live, which I will produce as your remote producer. So you could be
Amazing.
anywhere in the world, and I will be doing the technology for you. You've got to do your camera, but I'll be doing some of the work on the back end if it's required. Again, this is all optional for you, but you don't have to pay more for it. It's included in the bundle. I will also give you a post-show audit. So I will review the show and I'll give you some suggestions. Now, Anna, we're also, again, if you've got your own host, or I have
If
one.
you want to just
I have-
post it yourself.
Yes, I work with one brand that's online here, and they're probably a celebrity that they work with.
Perfect.
As a regular influencer, you're welcome to use that celebrity, and I'll even throw in that I'm happy to train that person, basic training, because Anna's already had her training. So, but I'm happy to help that along. And Anna, you're willing to do that, which is great.
I'm willing to host the show with you.
Yeah, it's with you. So this is part of like what makes it, kind of takes a bit of the scaries out of it. You've got professionals on your side. I mean, I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I've sold over $30 million of product on the shopping channel. Well, that sounds impressive, but like, I mean, I actually went conservative because it's actually significantly more, but I always think that when you start saying like you're in the $1 billion club, it sounds like people think you're BSing them. And
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's not that difficult in that scale with, 10 million people watching. So the value of this, and again, you can look at my pricing card that I have on my website. Just that intensive workshop, which is the first slide, right?
Mhm.
That's $1,000. I'm going to tell you your offer is less than that. So just hang tight for a second here. And we're doing our giveaway in 20 seconds or less. Project management, remote production. I charge that all day long. This is what I charge. I have a 4-event project with Manitoba Mucklucks. Okay. Anna Allen is your host, $700. When I work with Skin Cosmetics, you saw the video of me doing that. They pay me $650. So I
Perfect.
figured, Anna,
Yes.
we got to up you a little bit because you're very specialized in beauty. And then the dry run, we'll actually
That's
do
a
a practice
bonus.
set. Well, we did a practice session of this before we went live. So it's
Yeah.
important. And I will tell you, $4,700, I forgot to include that you will also be at the dry run. And so, sorry, you've got to
What
donate
is
your
the
time.
offer?
Okay, $997.
Amazing.
Okay.
That is an amazing offer.
So
Yes.
here's the thing. I'm not going to limit the time. A lot of times, like in home shopping and live stream, we're like, by now you got 1 hour. I don't want to pressure you like that. Like it's not only a considered purchase, but I also know that you're like, some of you probably your ears are buzzing because Dawn and Anna, well, Dawn probably talks way too much. Anna almost as much, but not as much as Dawn.
You're the pro.
Yeah, but I will tell you, so I'm not going to limit the time. Like if we don't sell 6 out of the gate, I'll keep this active for a month, 2 months, it doesn't matter. But we had registered 33 people on this webinar. And so my only concern was I thought, well, what if all 33 bought this? Like I don't know if we have the bandwidth to do that. So what I've done is we're going to limit it to 6 brands. So I'm going to go back on camera in here a sec. We're going to do the giveaway literally now, but just to remind you, a $4,700 value. And just to point out too, if you ever worked with me and Anna again as a package, I would, I'm not going to charge you necessarily for all the initial work that we just did, because we
This is an
build on
amazing
the
offer.
experience. It is.
And this is a skill set that it will pay off from not just one time, not just 2 times. It will pay off for a very long time because we are teaching you how to do this yourself and how to be on top of the competition. So, you spend a lot more on advertising or a trade show or things that don't have another layer to them. It's a one-time only, but this skill set is going to help you over and over and over again.
Yes, absolutely. Time for giveaway. Okay.
For joining.
So if you have Shopify, is there one of those that excel over the other? So you're talking about the live shopping platforms. I would say that not necessarily. It just kind of depends on what you want. So, you and I have already talked, Kelly, a little bit about live shopping. And I would tell you there's more options than ever before. So it kind of depends on how you want to drive the purchase. So if you want people to like click on a button for them to go to your checkout, then no, they're all kind of the same.
They can all integrate.
They all integrate. Stage 10, and we could go into depth if you decide you want to have just another little conversation, you know, before
Absolutely.
purchasing the offer. But there's something for everyone. So some of the platforms offer a real, like almost like a TV home shopping experience. Like we can do graphics and confetti and all this other stuff. And other ones have the button and just drives to sale. So not everyone has to get all fancy. Like it's okay to do basic. So all of them kind of work the same. There are a couple of platforms where when you're on Instagram and social, it asks you to comment like a number. So if we were selling this pen, we'd say in our calls to action, comment 101, and you'll get the link to the pen.
Oh, like a DM link. Like
Right. So that's what Martha Stewart did. When Martha Stewart did her live shopping event for her cookbook, and her exclusive offer, her compelling offer was an autographed copy only for people that bought in the live stream because it was a pre-order.
And that's part of the recipe. You got to have an offer.
Correct. So that way, what happened is because I was testing it out, I commented and immediately into my DMs came the link. So again, they're all integrating if you're working with those other platforms, and they vary in price. Again, you can go as little as, $89 and as much as, $2.99. So and don't be scared about the price. It really just is about making sure you have the right option.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if anyone else had a question. Rana, okay. I bet she said, how do you get people to tune in? Yeah, as I said, and I'll answer it again. It's just honestly, that's the number one question. And I'm not gonna lie, because it does take time to build this as a habit and a way of shopping. So it's honestly like every other marketing thing. If you're having an in-store event, so imagine if you had an in-store event, you would advertise. You don't always have to do paid advertisement, but you would tell people you see, you would hand out flyers, you're
invite them to your live stream.
You're going to market. Well, what did we do today? We went live this morning on Instagram to promote this.
Exactly.
Right?
And also is the algorithm that prefers live content. And I saw that you can actually, what do you call it when you're going live on one channel, but you can put it everywhere?
Multi-streaming.
You can multi-stream. So you're going live on one channel, but then you're multi-streaming to Facebook, Instagram, other platforms to draw in people. So you're reaching a really big community at once.
Yeah. So the idea is that the more eventually you cast a big enough net, you get more people tuning in. So on your, when we did the Manitoba Mukluk show, I can't remember now full off, because you also get people watching the replay, which is also shoppable. So you continue to get sales that can resonate. But we had at any given time, I think we had 70 people watching concurrent. Now that doesn't mean 70 in total. We had hundreds of people watching over the course of the 2-hour live stream. But at any one given time, we had 70 people watching. So, and the more you do it, the more regular you do it. You like Netflix, right? You sit there and go, every Tuesday we're going live, or first Monday of the month we're going live, and you promote it and you put it on your Instagram, and maybe you're bringing in an influencer in, and they're going to multi-stream. So I hope that answers your question, Rana. If it doesn't, feel free to, ask for clarification, ask me to answer it better. But we can also go offline and discuss more as well. Cameron, thank you. We look great.
Thank you, Cameron.
Good, because I was worried that we couldn't. I can't believe I can't. I'm using my new computer, and with the Zoom and the sharing and all that, there's probably a setting that I didn't click yet. So anyway, Kelly, what's a good amount of time? 2 hours seems long to me. Funny that you say that, because it's actually not. Remember, you're not just winging it. Many of you may have an experience of going live where you just pick up your phone and you decide, I'm walking down the street and I'm going to tell everybody, what kind of day I'm having, or I want to offer words of motivation. Those are short form, and that's great, but you don't have to think too hard about that. This is why the plan is important. So I'll answer the question in case some of you, if you're ready to go live now, I don't want to bury the lead. I will tell you there is a very specific strategy. I mean, home shopping networks have done this for 50 years.
Going to answer Rana's questions too.
Okay, perfect. And how to keep it from being repetitive. So first of all, don't worry about it being repetitive. Home shopping, we get told to repeat the same thing over and over, but you do it in a different way. The customer hears differently. Things resonate differently. And when you're speaking, like we're speaking to however many people, but we have to speak as though we're speaking to one person. And so you've even heard us repeat ourselves a couple of times today, right? 2 hours is not too long if you plan your show. So here's the short answer, Kelly. If we were doing a show with Fixed Ritual, and let's say we had 10 products, think about what that is. By the time you do your welcome, that's a couple of minutes. You're going to offer some, testimonials. You're going to share the features and benefits. You're going to do some demonstrations. You're going to have a conversation. You're going to have a story. You're
And
going
I
to
think,
remind people about
yes,
another
and I think
product.
having a host makes it a little bit more
Yes.
interesting and helps you have a more conversation. It is a three-way conversation, right? So when you go live, it's a conversation, it's a two-way, so it's you and your audience, or a three-way, like we're having today,
Yeah,
right?
and,
So,
and that's a really good point, Anna. And
yeah.
thank you for mentioning that, because when I was working in TV home shopping, I have had to talk by myself for 2 hours. But that's for the prep. So when we talked about the plan, which is part of the preparation, the promote and the play,
Mhm.
that first P is the most amount of work. You know this because you're prepping right now for the
Yep.
Kiolao show. And so it's really about planning the show. Now, that being said, Kelly, if you sat there and went, I just don't see it, I can't, you can go live for 20 minutes. But you're not going to do 10 items in 20 minutes. You're probably going to do 3. So it's all about the planning. And this is why when I said what our offer was, we will work hand in hand together. Like literally, yeah, I know, Kelly, I know you can talk too. And that's a good thing because you also are the best advocate for your product. But
Yep.
having like, if, on that first one, if you had Anna working with you, if you took advantage of our offer, and there's only 6, by the way, available. I want to keep highlighting that because there are only 6, because
Yep.
Anna's only got so much time. I only have so much time. And frankly, I'll have tomorrow someone taking advantage of a different offer that's higher.
Yeah.
So, but I guess, the point being is that if it's planned and if you've got someone leading through,
Yes. If it's planned,
it's not gonna seem like forever. And people also don't watch the whole live.
I have to say, after I took my training with you, Don, I was thinking the same things. Like, how am I gonna say the same thing? Because I only know this much, right? Like I only know the products or that, but there's beats and segments on how we can engage and offer engage and
Yeah.
and really there is a system. I don't want to give away too much, but there's a system on how to do it.
Well, and they'll be the way that I suggest based on my experience. And then, even for Anna, she's starting off with my proven experience, but over time you start to get your own flow. You know this, right? Like you were probably taught a certain way to type one day or use a computer, and then you started to figure out your own way that you like to do it better. And that's the whole point, is at least you're not starting from a point of, I know nothing, I'm scared. You still might be scared the first time you go live, and that's okay. That's okay. If you're not scared, you're not growing. But you're going to start from a point of experience, and we are there to handhold you. I tell you what, and Jessica has experienced this already. I mean, when I say it's a 3.5-hour intensive, we're texting all the time. She's asking questions. What do you need? Like,
Oh yeah.
I have the time to do that right now. It's because this is an emerging space, and I hope you can see I'm very passionate about this. Like I am. When I stress that and I'm not hard
So am
selling
I.
you, when I'm stressing you that the offer is so good, because I know what my time is worth. I know what I charge for other gigs,
Yeah.
right? And again, you don't have to feel pressure at all. I just want you to know that I'm so passionate about it, and I just want to get you started. Like that's all I want.
This
That's all I
is
want.
just so up and coming, and I know in this year we're gonna see more and more brands, kind of how social media started, like TikTok, Instagram. If you are the first adopters of it, you are doing so well right now, right? But if you're starting new, of course, you're gonna build it up. So we hope to be catching this wave.
Yeah.
And we hope you will catch this wave as well of live streaming, because this is the future.
Yeah. And
it's not just us saying it.
Yeah, and to be honest, and I said this on our Instagram live, if you walk away from this session thinking you want to try, great. If you walk away from this session going, not for me, I'm happy doing everything I'm done, I'm also going to say, great. All I wanted to do is offer clarity, because I know there's a lot of buzz out there. You're going to start to see other people saying, hey, I can teach you this or whatever. You go where you want. I will just warn you that a lot of people jump on bandwagons when things get very popular. And I will tell you, I started live selling school a year and a half ago, and it was my baby from 2 years ago, like up to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, and I come from a place of actually live selling. And so this isn't me jumping on a wagon. I work with influencers, I work with brands already. So listen, I don't want to hard sell you, but I just, be aware if you're going to get some help from somebody who knows what they're doing. Does anyone want to say anything on their
This is Rana. Does it help to have someone with like a large following to co-host as because like I only have like 4,000 followers, right, on my Instagram, for example. And And a lot of them have already bought or have like, so how do you bring
just
that
talking about that.
extra set of like eyeballs to the show?
Yeah. So again, yes, maybe. And I'm only going to say the maybe part because when I was at TSC, we had done live streaming. And so keep in mind, TSC is a home shopping network, but they also, about 2.5 years ago, I want to say, did a live streaming show. They were using LiveScale as their platform. So they also did what we are teaching you about right now. Okay. So they did that. They decided to bring an influencer as a co-host. And I will tell you, this influencer had, I think, 100,000 followers. But, and I'm not even joking. The host, who is obviously an experienced live seller, this was a coworker of mine, clearly knew how to drive a sale, but we kind of expected this influencer to do a little bit of heavy lifting as well. And she did not bring anything to the table. She did not promote the event. And so we never had access to her 100,000 followers. And we also didn't multi-stream. So there's going to be twofold. Anna, I think you've agreed that you will multi-stream if you are doing, am I pressuring you?
No, absolutely. We actually talked about this right before the show, and we said, how do we reach more people? So if we multi-stream, Rana, meaning if I'm your host, it would go on my platform, your platform, and it reaches.
And I tell you what, I'm going to even offer, because and when we say multi-stream, it means it's simulcast, and we don't have 5 cameras. This is where if you use one of the technologies that was on the far right, right, like what Keola is doing, you can multi-stream. I think it's up to 10 locations. So you could do YouTube, you can do Facebook.
YouTube is huge.
Everywhere.
Yes.
And so then you start capturing. And so just be aware that it doesn't always bring more people if you don't negotiate or have the person agree to multi-stream.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, and I know what you're saying too, Rana, is that you said, you've got like 4,000 followers and a lot of them maybe have already bought from you, but you would be surprised when you are live and people like I hope that
you're connecting.
I hope that you feel like I'm actually talking to each of you like that. I actually feel like I am. I can't see any of you and I can't even see myself. Can't see him. But
no, it
feels
feels very personal just to give you feedback.
But so that's what it would be like for your customers. And so even the customers that you've sold to before, they're probably going to buy more because first of all, they're already loyal.
Connections convert.
Yes.
They will connect with you.
And if you create an offer where maybe you offer an additional incentive, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but sometimes if you're able to say like, only just during this live stream, maybe you offer 10% off and it's automatically integrated within your Shopify, or you go gift with purchase, or you do a special bundle. Like you can create a special BOGO bundle that is only available in the live stream as a way. And this is how you get more people to watch.
That is such a good
You
point.
promote it like a giveaway, right? I didn't want to promote that we were doing the giveaway on our outside channels because I didn't want to get a bunch of, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to get a bunch of fluff. People just want to give away. This was meant to be an educational session for people that were genuinely wanted to learn. And if I would have posted, I'm doing a giveaway, I guarantee you we would have broke the internet.
Yeah,
we would have broke the internet. So anyway, we can always get into more detail of that if you want. And I'm certainly
the offer. It's part of the recipe, right? So when you're planning the show, the plan and the recipe, Rana, is like if that is our goal, is to reach more people or get people that bought from you, then when we plan the show, we're gonna think, okay, how do we get people that bought to buy? By creating a special offer, right? A bundle.
I would say too, and just to kind of sort of nail this one down for you, is that doing one show cannot be your measure of success. And I'm not trying to say, oh my gosh, everyone's first show is going to no one's going to watch. Of course not. Of course, you're going to promote it. People are going to be excited. You're going to get all your friends. Like you will get people watching and buying. I guarantee you. I shouldn't guarantee anything, but I can't imagine you couldn't sell anything. What I would tell you is that the more consistent you are building a routine. The algorithm and the internet starts feeding your feed on the explore page and stuff so that people, and so that means even your regular social media engagement will go up. So, I always recommend if you're going to do this, do it. Go in. Go
all in. How often would you recommend? How often?
Anything that you can sustain. So if you can sustain once a week, go once a week. I have people that go once a day. Once every 2 weeks, you can start light. You can start with every 2 weeks if you want. But
consistency is important.
If you say you're going to do it, it's like if you told your customers that we're always open on Saturdays, and then 3 out of 4 Saturdays you decide not to open. That's like,
and they'll come and they're not
then
there.
They don't trust. Yeah, and they don't know about you, and again, you don't reap all the benefits. And frankly, if you are going to invest, even at $9.97, again, a break from 4,700. I'm not, hey, if you only do one show, that's a very expensive show to do. Okay, like it is. I want you to have this as, and that's part of why it has to be an offer that is a commitment, because I want you to keep going with this. So, Mahalakshmi, I'm sorry, did I say that correctly?
Yes, correct. That was
Hello,
perfect. Thank you. I
no
have a
problem.
quick question.
Hmm.
So, for example, if a brand has a follower of like very few followers, like 100 to 200 followers, right? And we don't even have a YouTube platform yet. So, do you think it's best to, have that consistency in all the platforms, grow the followers or grow the subscribers, and then do the live shopping, like at least to 1,000 or 2,000, or I'm not sure if this is the right time to do with like few hundred followers.
Well, so what I will say is that this can be a way to build your following as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, will you, I can't, if you have 200 followers, yeah, you're not going to see a million people watching. But the next time you go live, you probably are going to start to see also that you have more followers and engagement. Here's the thing. When you create these shows, because I'm teaching you to be sustainable, and at the very most, you'd have to hire a host, and Anna will work out private deals with you guys, whatever that is. And it might be look for different for everybody. So I'm not going to promise what Anna's going to do things for. I put a value on what that is based on what I get paid to do these things. But what I will say is that it's a very low cost and high reward on a big sort of scheme of things, because you own your platforms. Like you don't own Facebook and stuff like that, just like TikTok, they can get rid of it anytime. But on your website, your live stream, when you use one of those other platforms, it will actually run on like a menu item of your page. So you know how you've like about us, brand story, shop the collection, there'd be another menu item that says live shows. And so you would have those live on there. And at the very end of the day, you're creating content that you can multi-purpose. So the short answer is it is still worth going live. You have to manage your expectations. And this is why in our strategy session, the 3.5-hour strategy session, which is kind of all you're paying for, everything else is free. We actually talk about what your other KPIs are. Like, do you want more subscribers? Yeah, you do. Do you want more followers? Yeah, you do. Do you eventually want to get more people on YouTube? Yeah, you do. But you got to start somewhere.
And we have to remember that like influencers like Huda Beauty, Patrick Ta, they started on YouTube with 0 following 20 years ago, like 15 years ago. So this is a start of a new way of social media and digital shopping. So there's no, like
No limit.
no limit. Yes, you don't have to have a huge following to start this. This is how it starts.
So Rana, so does the multi-stream include Pinterest? No. So Pinterest flowed in that middle pillar, which is like where Amazon Live was. These are platforms that have already integrated with their, I'm going to say inventory, and it's their inventory. So you would have to sell on Pinterest to be able to sell on Pinterest on a live stream. You have to sell on Amazon. Like I can't just go and sell this coffee on Amazon.
If you have an Amazon storefront, you could also go live on Amazon.
But not sell things that are not on Amazon.
Yes, of course. If you already have a store. That's right.
Yeah. So that's my point, right? So if you're on Pinterest, the only things you can sell are what you already sell on Pinterest as a business. When you go to those other platforms, that's where you get to choose. That's why I said, like, don't worry too much if you don't want to sell on Amazon, or you don't have enough on Amazon, or you don't like whatever elements of it, or you don't have Pinterest. Like, don't create more work for yourself. You're far better off owning your space and putting it on your own socials, right? But that doesn't mean you can't do both. If you have products on Amazon and Pinterest, you can sell on those, but only what is on that inventory on Pinterest and Amazon. You could still also sell on the others. I have a client, actually a student, she took my course. It was a video course, which I have as well, available. Excuse me, my tea. She actually is a Poshmark seller. So Poshmark has a live shopping platform integrated. So she sells like used but looks like new Lululemon. She was wanting to capture more of an audience. So she signed up with the platforms on the right. Remember I showed that? She signed up with Sold Live. That one's $89 a month is what it is, but you can't multi-stream. So there are other options available. So she sells also on her own Instagram and Facebook.
And just so, when a lot of brands, like when you look at Amazon, let's say you have an Amazon, if you sell your product on Amazon, just to do Amazon marketing costs you maybe $2,000 a month for you to get sales or people to your store. This way, if you were to go live, it doesn't cost you anything, but it drives people to your store. So Amazon Live can be a strategy for your brand if you are in the US.
Yeah, and there are just a couple of things that maybe don't make it as appealing. Like Amazon doesn't push your content for you. So just because Anna goes live on Amazon to sell whatever brand is on Amazon, Amazon doesn't promote for you. So you still have to don't think you don't have to promote your shows. You
Yeah.
still have to promote your shows.
Yeah.
Did that, hopefully that
But that
answered.
could create the content. That's a great
I'm
content
not saying
creator.
it's bad.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, just again, when we talk about where you're going to go live, I'm going to lay out to you lots of options, and then you still have to decide. It's not to me to decide what platform you work with. I can work with any platform, and I can work with you on any platform, and with Anna on any platform, and Anna can also work on any platform as a host, but you
Amazing.
do need to know kind of how it all fits together. Like there's no perfect solution, unfortunately, from the platform standpoint. I wish they all kind of were like a big happy family, but they don't.
Maybe one day.
If you have a question, drop me an email.
Yes,
You know?
yes, you
Yeah.
guys know where to find us, and we will be doing a follow-up email anyways.
Yeah,
with the
absolutely.
recap.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you found great value. I really
Thank
actually
you.
do. We may do these again for other brands and
Yeah.
more, and not so much other brands, but other commodities like fashion and all that, of
I'm
course.
just so excited for
Yeah.
this way of helping you guys scale up your brand, because we all know that there's, the big brands have a bit of a guidebook on how to do things, but if you're an indie brand, you got to think outside the box, and this is a new platform for you guys to be able to really shine.
Yeah, not so much a guidebook, but they got a big budget.
Yes.
Like you think of the Walmarts and the Targets and the Macy's and the well, not so much Macy's anymore. They're like
Honestly,
but-
their guidebook also may actually stop them from doing things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they will not implement this as fast as a new indie brand. because
Exactly.
It has to, there's a lot of
Yeah.
politics.
So 6 of them available. I'm not going to pressure you. It doesn't expire, but when the 6 are gone, they're gone. Thank you, everybody. Your time was so valuable. I really appreciate you watching.
Yes, thank you.
Rana, we're going to send you your digital card. Once I get kind of torn down here, we'll buy the card and we'll email it to you. So don't worry, it's coming.
Thanks, guys.
Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dawn.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.